Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the live show. It is Tuesday night, and there is 9 days left till Christmas, and the market it was red, but it got green at the end there. It was popping up there at the end. Tesla was looking good, and NVIDIA actually looks good. Microsoft was up. So we'll go through everything. But first, all information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only, not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence. And here we go, everybody. How are you guys today? There's your heat map, like I was saying. Oracle Palantir right there looking pretty good, and Microsoft NVIDIA up right there. So we'll go through everything. Your SPY was down. Your Qs were trying to go up at the end of the day, and they certainly did. Look at these things. I mean, this was a crazy day right there. Check these out. The Qs all the way down, took a dip, ran way up, pull back right at the end. They generally seem to do that. I don't know why, but they definitely seem to do that. Futures are red. Luis Rodriguez is telling us. So there you go. We'll keep an eye on that as well. And we'll see what's going on. Let's just see how the SPY looks as it closed right here on your daily, because it didn't look perfect. I'll tell you that. It did come down to your 50. It's hitting it, and it was kind of crossing through the MACD, but it's in that spot where it could pull itself back up. So we know it's right in that delicate area right there. And your Qs, like I said, they started pulling up, but they've been below your 20 and 50 right there and trying to curl up. Now, is that your bottom, or are they just trying to parachute their way down so that they didn't go really crashing down so fast? So that's the question right there, and that's what we'll be looking at tomorrow. But let's go through and see what everything else looks like. And let's see over here, a good old SPY right there. And yeah, look at that. Look, that is kind of pulling itself back right there, but hitting the 50, it could try to bounce off and get moving. So it's an interesting look, that's for sure. And again, your Qs right there, they look like they want to try to curl up, but not a guarantee. IWM right there was also pulling back. So there are your indices right there. And let's see, let's go through everything else and go see what's happening. Like I said, NVIDIA looking pretty good. I know it did pull back a hair in the after hours right there, but look at that setup right there. It's trying to get set up, and it's trying to curl up right here on the RSI. And if that MACD makes a quick curl right there, that thing will get blasted off. So we'll be watching that in the morning. Maybe it could do it by the end of the week, possibly. So definitely keep an eye on it. Look at it. It looks like it wants to get curled up real fast and get a nasty move going. And it has that setup and that look. So definitely keep an eye on that in the video right there. And let me see what's going on with our list, because ONDS right here, that thing was going wild this morning. I know that. We were looking at it, and then it pulled back a little bit, so it could run up even higher there. So there you go at your ONDS, and it was up 5% right there. And is it really trying to get cranking? I'm not sure. Or is that just trying to parachute its way down, and today it just bounced back up? I don't honestly, guys, it's like a toss-up right there. So it's going to be an interesting look in the morning, and we'll go through crypto relatively soon. We'll go through the crypto treasury ones, and then we'll take a look and see what crypto is doing. Here's Open Door. It was trying to bounce back up as well, but again, is it really trying to? That does look like it's bottomed out and does look like it's trying to curl up, but I'm not convinced that they're exactly ready yet. So we will be playing it by ear and seeing what they want to do in the morning, and obviously what the market looks like. QMCO right here up a little bit after them pullbacks, and we'll see. It does appear like it does want to roll off the MACD, but we're not a guarantee right there. And then we'll look at the other quantum computer hardware ones, RGTI right here, up a little bit. This does look like it's trying to get set up. Look at this bad boy, and that looks like it should roll right off that MACD and get cruising for RGTI. So definitely keep an eye on that one right there. I'm going to jot it down over here. Good old RGTI. And I forgot to print out a piece of paper what I jot down on my notes. So now I just have a blank piece of paper, but not the end of the world. I'll keep track and be able to see what's going on. Anyway, there's your RGTI and QUBT. Let's take a look at the rest of these quantum and D-Wave, or quantum and computer hardware ones. And this one's quantum computing, and this is getting to be in a good spot. It looks like it wants to roll off the MACD as well. So we will definitely be keeping an eye on these. Here's that D-Wave quantum. QBTS, and this was up today 7.5% and looking pretty good. So you might want to keep an eye on QBTS, and this one does like the run right there, and they do look pretty good at the moment. And then, of course, your Quantum Defiance Quantum ETF, and it had a little bit of drawback down there, back under the 50 to the 20. We'll see if it can get curled up, bounce back up, and get rolling. And QSI just kind of hanging out down there. And I don't know, this one possibly might be ready to get rolling. And IONQ right here, that was cruising along, and that does look good. Here's your opposite, IONZ, almost in a good spot. That's why I brought it up, because it almost has that good spot look, and that looks like a little healthy pullback. So again, I would be very, very cautious, let's put it that way, on what the market's going to do tomorrow. I wouldn't jump on them thinking that because it jumped up 7% today, it's ready to rock and roll. Exactly. It does look like it wants to roll off that MACD. Don't get me wrong right there. It doesn't look too bad. But then when you look at the opposite side, on IONZ as well, this one doesn't look too bad. So I don't know. We'd keep an eye on it tomorrow and make sure if it gets up a little bit and this starts curling up, I would say they're going to get set up and running. But you just want to make sure that's for that, we like to do. And that is IONQ right there. And RCAT, let's see what RCAT is doing, Red Cat Holdings. And that one's pulling back just a little bit right there. And what it was the other one that we always look at, this good guy, good old Z Space right here. Look at this thing. Oh my goodness, it is such a disaster. I don't know what the heck they're doing over here, but I just enjoy looking at this chart just because it's so wild and it just hasn't gotten ripping yet. And it has been over a year now, and it's been consistently going down. Maybe this one's a tax sell-off one. That's the one I was mentioning. Laptop Travel Z Space, I think, is what I was talking about. Tax sell-off. I think this is the one that I was talking about. I said that we had mentioned one. It could be this one, Z Space, because it was basically down the whole year. I mean, look at this thing. It's just been pulling back like crazy right there. So there you go. I think that was the one that I was thinking of the other earlier. And that is your quantum and computer hardware sector ones. And we just went through them. So let's continue through our list and see what UNH is doing. It had a nice drawback today. That's for sure. Joseph Levy, how are you doing? And let me see what else is going on. Yeah, that one is pulling back right there. Joseph Levy's Galt, while we're talking about UNH, this was running up today. And we'll keep an eye on this. It wasn't looking too bad right there, as we were talking about it earlier, but it did pull back at 3 o'clock area. I wasn't watching it then, but it did have some pullback. Oh yeah, I do. I have my Coke scarf. I'll have to get that back on. I actually literally just like ran in here. I should have had my Coke scarf on earlier, to be honest with you. Me and Dougie went out sledding. He wanted to go sledding. We didn't get to go sledding when it snowed. So he said that he wanted to go sledding today. So I said, when I pick you up from grandmom's, I'll take you sledding. So I dropped all this stuff over there, and we were just going to go for a little bit. So we get there, and Dougie's good buddy, his little friend, Henry, that he played hockey with, and I coached with his dad. He's like really cool. And Henry also went to pre-K with Dougie. So they were like really friendly and got along great. They liked each other a lot and always get along when they see each other. So Henry, his dad, the hockey rinks are right there, and his dad's involved with hockey, and he's out there snow blowing the rink with the snow blowers with a couple people. So Henry was just kind of sledding by himself when we pulled up. He had just gotten there, and so it worked out perfectly. So yeah, we ended up sledding for 2 hours. Me, Dougie, and Henry. So they were having a blast. I mean, them two just had a great time, and they want to do it again tomorrow. As a matter of fact, they were like, "Yeah, if it's the snow still here," and it was actually the best conditions I'd seen that hill in a long, long time. I'm not gonna lie. So they were begging if they can go back tomorrow. So looks like we're gonna be taking them back for a little bit tomorrow, but maybe not 2 hours. That was a little crazy, and I was just kind of hanging out because again. Henry's dad was out there trying to finish up the hockey rinks with a bunch of people, and they had some snow blowers out there and some people shoveling and stuff. So I was like, well, the least I can do is hang out with Henry and occupy him on the hill and watch him. So it actually worked out. But yeah, we were sledding, and I'm telling you, Dougie, he was so tired. We came home and ate that matzo ball soup, and both of us had like 2 bowls, and wow, I just like literally took a shower and made it down in the chair at like 8 o'clock. Like it was turning 8:01, I think. So Anyway, yeah, I just kind of ran over here, got the list done earlier real quick and everything else. So a little bit running around why we have a little bit of snow. So, um, yeah, didn't you win your tournament, Joseph Levy? What is that? Hoping to get double qualified for Vegas playoffs in June tonight. So you'll be playing for two teams. That would be really cool. And still waiting for your matzo ball soup. Yeah, stop by. I told Ben if he was going to be at his parents, I'd even drop it off to him, but he's not. But there you go. And so there you are. But yeah, I had a ton of soup and now I'm like ready to pass out. But we'll get through our show. But yeah, that galt is an interesting now. Joseph Levy, I keep forgetting about this, but I know that they have they make a medication, and Joseph Levy seems to be all up on the galt. He knows this company pretty well. I'm not going to lie. He was telling me and Luis Rodriguez about it while we were out to eat on Saturday night, so he does know about it. I think they like have something that can help cure liver disease, I believe, stage 4. It's actually, he said that there's been people that were on the actual liver transplant list that have gotten off the list by taking this medication. If that's the case, guys, that's actually huge. And it does look pretty bullish right there. I'm not going to lie. So I can't say that it doesn't look bullish. And, but it was up earlier and it pulled back today. But we'll keep an eye on this GALT and be able to see what it wants to do there and keep us updated with any kind of news on Galt there. You seem to be the Galt guy, just like Luis Rodriguez is the Toyota Motor guy. And look at that thing. It's still way up there, guys. I mean, this thing has been running up and it's still staying up there, Toyota Motor, and looks like it'll be hanging out even higher. So there you go with TM, and we'll keep an eye on that. Galt is in a nice little bullish channel. You're not kidding. I'm telling you, that thing is, I mean, from what Joseph Levy, he seems to understand, but look at this thing just getting set up. This is going to continue to go up. I would watch for any dips if it comes down like it did on these 2 days right here. But yeah, this thing should get moving. I think you're on to something here, Joseph Levy. And you've been talking about this since like you literally started options. I know that. This is like you were buying options. I had never heard of Galt, but you seem to know about it and know about their biotech and what they're doing in that company and the liver disease treatment and everything else. So there you go with GALT. So little GALT talk right there. Maybe we should contact them and try to talk to them and see what they're up to. That sounds interesting. I'm not going to lie. You got my attention, Joseph Levy, when you started telling me that people were able to get off of the liver transplant list by taking this medication. That got my attention. I know that. So anyway, there you go. And yeah, they just were submitted something to the FDA. So he was telling us about that. But there's enough about Galt. I'll add it over here to the list because I always forget about it until you hop on. So there you go. I put it on the list there. And I think Galt will have to keep looking at right there. And let's keep on cruising through. And like I said, we'll take a look and see what our crypto is doing in a minute. But that was your UNH and Galt right there. Here's your Trump companies, and they're nice and far down there. And is Bitcoin going to move? That's the question. And we'll look at it. That looks like it could be a bottom, but is it just trying to parachute its way down still after all them dips? So we'll be keeping an eye on that ABTC, and that has been pulling back there. Pew right here, another one pulling back, and these are the Trump crypto companies. And like I said, just pulling back. That one could roll off the MACD. It almost looks like it wants to bottom out. I don't think it's done pulling back, or at least like staying down there. But it does look like it doesn't want to pull back a whole lot more. Let's put it that way for PEW, but we'll definitely keep an eye on that. And your NCPL right here, good old net capital. And that one, I mean, has some big spike ups, guys. I'd say we should probably watch this thing just for a day trading. I mean, 109 to 128 right there. That's pretty good run around right there. And it's been spiking around a lot the last few days. So something interesting to keep in mind for NCPL. And PSQH right here is your PSQ holdings. And let's see what that's up to as it's pulling back a little bit. Nothing real crazy yet. We'll watch that to see if it wants to roll off this MACD so it can get rolling back up. And again, it's going to rely on some Bitcoin and crypto action, and BMNR usually does rely on Ethereum because they're the biggest Ethereum treasury. And this is just kind of pulling back. I mean, it says it's up today, but nothing real crazy. And it did come down to that trend line. It is coming down to that MACD. And let's see, like I've been saying about a lot of these, I think they're going to get rolling off and trying to get rolling here. So, well, you can see SBET trying to do the same thing, or are they trying to parachute down? I don't know. I mean, I think they likely like to roll off of there, to be completely honest with you. So we'll be keeping an eye on everything tomorrow, and everything looks like it's in an interesting, delicate spot right now. That's for sure. And I was saying Bitcoin overnight was, and it held itself up, but is it going to continue to? That's the question. UPXI right here, Solana Treasury, been way down. Look at all them beaten down days right there for UPXI. And then your ORBS right here. And that one is just kind of hopping around as well. That one wasn't down so bad and doesn't look so bad in the after hours right here. So there you go with your orbs, that 8Co holdings right there. And not looking too bad. So that's an interesting look for that one. All of a sudden looks like it just wants to cruise out of nowhere. And FGNX trying to pick up its gains that it dropped down yesterday. Look at this thing. I'm telling you, it's a really solid one right there. So that is your FGNX and TONX ton strategy right here, and pulling back a little bit more. It's had more lows right there. Look at that thing. It was dipping down. It looks like it got down to its lows again. So keep an eye and see if you like it. I don't know if it's really going to roll off the MACD. I guess if they all start to, that one should follow. So that is your crypto ones. And then Galaxy likes to follow Bitcoin a lot of times as well. And this one was pulling back. So let's go ahead and look at it. Bitcoin is at 87.6 right now. Ethereum 29.5. And let me see what Cardano's at. That's at 38 cents, and Chainlink says 12.90. Solana's at 129, and Stellar's at 21. And that is what the stock cube says. Let's see, it's over here. And this says 87.6. Isn't that what I said? I believe it is. Yep, 87.6. So I'm telling you, it's accurate. And look, it's staying in that bullish channel like we've been talking about. It definitely pulled back, but if it gets cruising back up, it'll be fine. But is it going to get cruising back up? And that's the question here. So let's take a look and see, because you have your Bitcoin coming back down to your MACD right there. And it did have a pretty good pullback. I mean, another interesting, important day, I would say, right here. Going in overnight and seeing if it can pop up a little bit more. If it gets running back up, I think you will run the next week or so up until the holidays and Christmas or whatever. So let's see what happens here. It is staying in that bullish channel, so that's a good look. And we'll see if it can continue to tomorrow. And if it does, it'll roll off that MACD. That's what it looks like right there. And that is your Bitcoin, Ethereum, everything else will follow. Ethereum looks a lot better, to be completely honest with you. I know it's hitting the MACD, but it looks a little better in that bullish channel, as you can see. And let's see what Solana is up to right there. It is at 129, it says. And this thing's making a nice base down here, to be completely honest. And I think when they do get cruising, you're going to have a really good base down at 129. And that thing can get really cruising back up for Solana. So it looked like it was trying to get, it's not, it's kind of not following the other ones. And now it's making its own base, not going into a bullish channel. Now, will it? It will, because it's making a base and then it will curl up. So just following a different flight path. That's about it. But Solana, not bad right there. Ripple had been pulling back. And another one, like if it can bounce off this bottom right there and get curled up, it'll be in good shape. It'll try to hold itself up. And again, we're not really basing the whole market off of Ripple. It just follows the rest of them, but it is a big one of the four that you kind of want to hold. So it is an important one, but I don't think it's going to turn the market around anywhere like Bitcoin probably will, or Ethereum. Even Solana probably won't do it right now. I think Bitcoin and Ethereum, and more or less Bitcoin is going to follow. Everything's going to follow that. And Doge right here has that same look as well. And then Cardano also kind of has a very similar look, as they've been pulling back. And again, are they just kind of stair-stepping down and parachuting themselves, or are they trying to reverse and curl back up? And that's going to be the question going into tomorrow that we're going to be keeping an eye on. And there's optimism. And let's see how optimistic we are that it rolls off this MACD right there. So we'll be taking a look at that in the morning and everything else. But let's continue our list. And that's what crypto's looking like. And I think the market's kind of running around because crypto's just running around as well. And it doesn't know what it wants to do. ASTS right here. This one was trying to bounce back up and rebound a little bit after it had that big dip. And you can see it's coming down. Will come down some more. It could just be parachuting its way down, as a matter of fact, right there for ASTS. So, and that's ASST. And actually, this one not looking so bad right here. I was looking at this today, ASST. So you keep an eye on that. I was trying to get the ASTS, and there it is. And look, see it. Some good pullback, but it could get rolled up right there. And that is your ASTS AST Space Mobile right there. And your wife is a big Ripple holder. There you go, laptop travel. I'm not saying I have a bunch of Ripple as well. I'm not saying it's not bad, it's not good. It's definitely a good one. I just don't think right now the market's going to change because of Ripple. I think it's all following what Bitcoin wants to do. Everything else is just kind of in that lead, and this one is in that bullish channel still. So if it can continue, the rest of them will navigate their way up as well. So that's all I'm saying about that. But yeah, I say Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and Ripple. You kind of want to have all four of them. And so yeah, there you go. My back itches. I don't know why, but there you are. And yeah, that's I definitely have some Ripple, a good amount of it, as a matter of fact. So yeah, I'm not saying it's bad by no means. I just think that the market's going to really follow Bitcoin at this moment. That's all. And that's all I was alluding to right there. And let's see what else is going on in here. We looked at ASTS, so let's look at Kodak. That was down a little bit, but again, another one. Is this thing trying to actually bottom out here and get curled up, or is it trying to really cross through that MACD and come down? Tomorrow, pretty interesting day, that's for sure, for a lot of them. Look at it, the 20 coming up. It's in that spot where we low. When it likes to come like that, it likes to pull itself up and then go up for whatever reason. I have no idea why, but they do stop like that. And then the next morning, they pull themselves up. So I know Luis Rodriguez said earlier that the futures were red. We'll see what the market brings us, and I guess it'll be more market conditions kind of are the factor. So we'll be on at 7 a.m. to see what's going on in the market and what opportunities we can take advantage of. And let's keep on going through and see what's going on with the rest of these guys. Here is UMAC. That was up a little bit in the same scenario here. I mean, it does look like they're trying to turn around. And that looks like it wants to roll off that MACD right there. So we'll be watching UMAC in the morning. And your nuclear right here, NKLR. And that was up a little bit, and it's on the 20, and that actually looks like it wants to stay in this channel and get crawled up. I do like this NKLR nuclear right here. It is a pretty decent one. At least it looks pretty decent anyway, and I'm sure nuclear is an important one. So there you go, NKLR. And like I said, that does appear to be setting up. And then you have your LITM right here. That was pulling back. And another one, they all have that same similar look, like they could just continue down, or they could pop back up now, and they could be bottoming out. Nix right here, that was trying to run up the other day, then pull back, and that has a similar look. So it is pretty wild that they're all very similar. Here's IVF, and this one is like basically a penny stock and trying to get set up. Look at it in the basement right there. It's up over the MACD, and you are trying to get moving. It recently reverse split right there, so you're back over $1, but we'll see how long it can stay, or if it can get set up to get cruising first. So that is that in vino fertility, whatever it is. IVF. I can't read right now. I'm telling you, I'm way too tired. And the sliding wiped me out. I'm not going to lie about that. And so that's tech right here. There was like no one else at the hill. There was a couple kids. But not like it usually is. So it was pretty empty. We had the hill to ourselves for the most part. And yeah, we went up and down way too many times in 2 hours. I'm not going to lie. I'm like literally wiped out. And so, yeah, I can't even read anything. So don't ask me to read much. And I'm just going to kind of cruise through. I'm like, holy cow, I'm tired. That's Tech right here. Go sledding for 2 hours. That was pretty wild right there. No reason to buy those. What are you buying, Ripple or what? I don't know what Michael Anthony's talking about. But how are you, Michael Anthony, this evening? Nice to have you follow along and join us for tonight's show. And we're looking at Sinez pulling back right there. And it was looking a lot better the other day. Let's put it that way. So we'll see how far Sinez really wants to pull back right there. Oh, beat. Who was talking about? I don't even know who was talking about. That beat was way up there today. Holy cow. That thing definitely beat the market the last few days. Might even beat the market again tomorrow. It's so crazy. So that is nutty right there. Good old beat. Look at that thing. Holy mackerel. That is Heartbeam. Yeah, that one did pretty well right there. And D'Lo right there. That one's not looking too bad there, Michael Anthony. Look at that. That actually does look pretty decent to try to curl back up on that D'Lo. Check that out, Luis Rodriguez. You might like that look. That looks really good. I will say your D'Lo looks good. I have it on the list tonight, Michael Anthony. I know you didn't see it, but you that is on my list for tonight, just for you, of course. But now D'Lo looking really good, and PAGS ready to bounce after tomorrow, and that one is pulling back. So we'll keep an eye on that one right there. So let's keep on cruising. I'll come back to your list because I need to get done this whole list first, and then we'll get done all you guys and everything else. You know that. We'll cruise through everything. And if I do it in the right order, we'll get to everything. If I jump around, we'll be here until Christmas time trying to get stuff figured out here. So anyway, let's get cruising. PAGS, that was a Michael Anthony one. Let's go back to this side on Hertz right here, because Hertz is like trying to get set up. I would say it was pulling back. It's got that trend line right there, and I would say look at it off the MACD. I think Hertz is going to be a good opportunity and is getting set up. So I do think you might want to keep an eye on Hertz going into tomorrow and possibly just the end of the week. And Chipotle right here, obviously started to run up, is pulling back a little bit at the moment. So we'll see how much Chipotle wants to really pull back right here. You can see it hitting the 50, and will it stay up there? It doesn't look perfect, but we'll have to look at it tomorrow, obviously. And I'm not sure what that is, but if you guys know what stock ticker that is, you let me know. But this one's Eli Lilly right there. And let's see what Eli Lilly is up to over here. And that is LLY, and it was pulling back just a little bit as it has been running up. Still looks like it's kind of curl up pretty well, but I don't know. It looks like it's trying to flatten out right there. So I would beware of Eli Lilly tomorrow just to see what it wants to do first. And that is your LLY. And then your CBRL right here is our favorite Cracker Barrel. And here we go, right back down into the 25s, guys. Like I was saying, I don't think this one's going to be doing too well. They need to bring me in as a consultant. Look at that. That's not a good look. I can tell them right now, guys, you better stop the bleeding right now, because you're going to hemorrhage this company right out of your hands. I'm telling you right now, it is not looking good for Cracker Barrel, and they need to make some changes, and they need to make them pretty quick. I'm not going to lie. So maybe hit me up and I'll tell you exactly what to do. We'll keep all your Cracker Barrels and all the old country stores. We'll make the company even better than it used to be, and it will drive the stock right back up to 75 from 26 or 25 now. Because if they don't do something, it's going to get crushed down here. It's going to continue to go down. You can see it's about to cross through that MACD and then cross through the support line and be down. The MA and the 20 is about to push it down. So is the 50. It is not looking good right there for Cracker Barrel. I can tell you that right now. So just letting you know, Cracker Barrel needs help. And so there you go. And let's see what else is going on here. So yeah, Cracker Barrel, go ahead and reach out. I'll help you guys out there. I like your company. Your food, their Cracker Barrels are good. Their biggest mistake was hiring the CEO. She's an idiot. And clearly it shows that she's not very bright and doesn't know what she's doing. You don't try to do things woke. I mean, it's just a wrong idea. Even if that's what you really like and you think that's the right idea, just keep it to yourself and just go along with the agenda, and just remember that your stock was at what, all the way up here in the 70s before you opened your mouth. So now it's in the 20s. I mean, that's a pretty dramatic dip right there, guys. I mean, that's pretty hardcore. And look at it; they're at their pretty lows. I mean, look across the board. Cracker Barrel, I think we went through it before. I don't think it's ever really been down this low, has it? Maybe one other time. Let's see. We'll go over here, and Yeah, I mean, back in 2009, it was down there, but I mean, Jesus, I mean, look, because this right here, yeah, I guess over here it was kind of, but I mean, you're talking because you're down, you're like in this land right here, down here, so you're talking like it's been hasn't been this price in like 2 decades, guys, practically. Holy mackerel! Wow, that's pretty wild, and that's yeah, that's pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie, because they've had it together all these years. Look at us from 2009 on. They've just had it together. They took that dip during, of course, COVID, but everybody did right there, and then it ran back up. And then this lady got a hold of it, and Jesus Christmas! I mean, all the companies didn't do. You know what it was? The restaurant industry is not doing so well, especially after COVID. That's for sure. And then this lady goes and tries to make it woke. I mean, you want to talk about just crushing the company right there. So, yeah, Cracker Barrel, not looking good for them, that's for sure. But that is what it looks like for them. Laptop Travel loves the company, but it has changed so much. Family business origins, but definitely quirky. And you were a consultant for Cracker Barrel many years ago during the company's largest percentage growth in the USA. There you go. Well, you might want to hit them up and tell them to hit us up now. Laptop Travel, we can definitely help them, but they're gonna need it real bad, real quick too, because they're in trouble. So anyway, let's keep on cruising on from Cracker Barrel, and maybe they'll get it together, and maybe not. I don't know. It doesn't look so hot right now. They got changes to make, that's for sure. So anyway, here we go, and let's see what Lulu is doing. Good old Lulu was up a little bit today, and that one looked pretty strong up here in the top. So I'd just be careful because it is in the top and it ran up on the earnings, but it is staying up there. So that's just one you can look at for a momentum play right there. Perhaps it does run up a little bit more. And Boyle right here. Look at this thing. This is that natural gas. And wow, I think you're getting to that bottom now. So as we were saying, don't jump into it just yet. Let's keep an eye on it. I was looking at it today and I watched it fall down. So maybe this is our bottom point right here, but I'll look at it tomorrow and we'll reevaluate that one and look at Gush came way down right there, and that's that oil and gas one. So you know these guys are gonna want to bounce back up. And then you have like these RBNE and stuff like that. These ones will want to bounce because they're trying to get set up for whatever reason why these things are dipping down. TMDE and a couple other ones, as you can see, they're down, but they do look like they're trying to set back up. So I guess when the oil and gas and the and natural gas and them ones decide to actually start crawling back up and running, these things may be following suit, I guess, because they are getting set up for whatever reason. I have no idea why. But anyway, let's see what Plug was up to, because it's been plugging away and it's still plugging in that channel right there, and it's not looking too bad. So and there you go. Your buddies and connections there have left. So you don't even know anybody left at Cracker Barrel on Laptop Travel. Go figure. So I guess we're not gonna actually get through to them and help them. Anyway, no big deal unless you guys tell them, but I doubt that's gonna happen either. We're not telling them anything. They're just gonna have to go down in a ball of fire, unless they just happen to listen to this show and say, we should probably listen to this guy. He might actually, yeah, he hit his head pretty hard. He might know what he's talking about, because our CEO don't have a damn clue. That's for sure. But anyway, here's Plug right here. It's trying to plug away in that channel, and it will go up. And QuantumScape, that was dipping down. And like I said, like the rest of the market has that look. And we have to see what they're going to do tomorrow. I can't promise you either way or the other, because they have a crazy look for most of them. And here's your rocket companies right here, Zach. And I know you do like this one. It's in that channel. It doesn't look bad. At least it's holding itself up. It may pull back down to that 50, so you can watch it for any pullback right there. And I would say that it would probably get set back up or bounce around in that channel right there is what Rocket Mortgage looks like just at the moment, at least this week. And again, we're going into a holiday week next week. It's going to be Christmas, and what, next Thursday it is. So it's pretty wild right there. So yeah, a week from this Thursday is Christmas, guys. So you're 9 days away. tomorrow, 8 days from Christmas. So anyway, that is what you're looking at. And so yeah, the market's a little choppy. It was real choppy this morning. I know that. Home Depot pulling back a little bit there. Lowe's was also pulling back. It was running around a little bit, but they are pulling back. So we'll have to look at them tomorrow to see exactly what they want to do. And then you have your LDI pulling back right there. That house was running up again. I didn't write it down. I forgot. I don't know why I skipped it, but house was running up today. I did see that trying to bounce off that 20 and staying up there. So keep an eye on HOUS, and that Tylenol maker KVUE right there. I don't know. It looks all right. It's trying to get set up, guys. I mean, look at it. It's trying to bounce off that MAC. It's trying to do something. Let's put it that way. So we'll be getting we'll look at that one. KVUE, that good old Tylenol maker, and IMRX right here dipping down. So we'll have to look at that, Ross, and reevaluate that one and see if it actually gets cruising back up. But it does have that good support right there. It's down at the bottom, and that one could be a good one. And that one has a what the heck do they have? I forget what their medicine does now that we were talking about galt. I forget what these guys do. Holy cow, I totally forget. My brain is fried today. And anyway, it's a tired, but we'll keep on cruising through the market. And I forget what IMRX does. What the heck do they do? I totally forget. Anyway, I just know it's something good. Here's your Figma, and that Figment, the purple dinosaur FIG, good old Fig Newtons right here, looking pretty good. So you might want to keep that on your list right there for FIG. And that is looking pretty good. I know Michael Anthony and Luis Rodriguez both like that one. And how about Carmen right here? KRMN, right? I don't know what the hell I'm typing in. There's KRMN. And there's Carmen right there. It was down. It's still in that channel, but pulling back a little bit. So I would say let it pull back a little bit more, and we'll take a look at it tomorrow and see what it actually wants to do right there. And then your critical metals right here, CRML, and Fig has a sell signal by a chart. I don't know what chart you're looking at, but Figment is not looking too bad right there. And I'll look at all them. I just happened to look over and talking about Fig. Anyway, critical metals right here. This is pulling back right there, and we'll see how far it wants to pull back. You can see it almost looks like it wants to roll off that MACD, and we'll have to look at a lot of these metal guys. And the metal heads, we'll call them the metal heads. And that's all the metal heads and all them guys we'll have to look at and see if they're trying to get set up. And how about Circle right here? That's CRCL. And that one looks a little stronger tonight and looks like it is trying to roll off that MACD. It's not the first time we've seen this look, but it does look like that one is trying to get bouncing for now. And that's C1 right here. That's an interesting one. And it did finish up today. And this thing, I mean, we're waiting for the buyout on this thing. It is kind of crazy. It did run up and then ran down. It pulled back right at the end of the day. Let's put it that way. So we'll see. It doesn't look too bad right there. Remember that quick. I don't know what did that do right there. Laptop travel, QUIK. And that thing trying to bottom out. I forgot we were even talking about this thing last week. You said it this morning. I didn't even know what you were talking about. You're like, yeah, remember that quick that we were talking about in Discord? I was like, yeah, I think so. But I really didn't until I opened my account and saw that I bought it. And I was like, I bought Quick? I don't remember this. But I guess we bought Quick Logic last week. I really don't remember. But anyway, let's root for Quick. It's pulling back a little bit right there. We'll see what it wants to do tomorrow. And we'll take a look at it and see if it's going to be a quick one to get out of. Let's put it that way. So interesting. And I didn't even remember even talking about it or buying it for that matter. So there you go. How about that, laptop travel? But that's your QUIK. And let's see what RR is doing. Rich Tech Robotics up a little bit right there. And another one has that same look like everything else. Serve Robotics was actually pulling back at the moment. And let's look at Celius. And that was pulling back some today. And looks like it might come back down to that 20. And of course, Elf better be going up. It's its favorite time of the year right here. And so there you go. It was bouncing around, let's put it that way. As you can see, it started out down there, ran up, and then had a little bit of pullback, but it kind of was almost even at the end of the day, I'd say. But it did run up there for good old Elf in its favorite time of the year, Christmas time, and about a week away almost. So how crazy is that? And then you have your USAR right here. That was up a little bit and not really looking perfect, but it was trying to stay up there today. And Snapchat, now that one doesn't look too bad at the moment right here, try to curl up. So we'll be watching Snapchat, and that one could be a good one for that October effect as well. And let's see what IREN, because this one took a big old dip, I believe, today. Or no, this one, hold on, was this down today? Yeah, it was. I was gonna say this was definitely down today. Holy cow, that got moving around, huh? That definitely was down earlier. I know that. And that one ran up today. So we might have to keep an eye on this thing. I don't know. I just know it was down earlier. That's all I know because I remember looking at it as I went through the list. And yeah, look at that thing turned around today anyway, but I'm not so sure it's exactly ready. I'll look at it tomorrow again. But yeah, I was gonna say that was definitely down there and way below yesterday's price. And so yeah, I was right, but it definitely bounced back up. So I wasn't right about that. It definitely got cruising at some point at the end of the day or throughout the day, I'd say. So there you go. Keep an eye on that. PSKY, that's at Paramount, and we are keeping an eye on this one. And again, we want to see these CEOs just fight it out. Paramount right here. And of course, who's the other company? Netflix, that's who it is. And these guys were up, and I think this is a great opportunity right here, guys. We've been talking about it. So I think we might have to keep an eye on this NFLX because that one could be cruising right there and be in a great spot to get moving. So there you go. And they are fighting over Warner Brothers. And that did pull back as the hot chicks waiting for these guys to duke it out. So kind of interesting right there. That's for sure. And Warner Brothers, I guess, doesn't have an exact contract now. So they got to wait for Netflix and Paramount to actually fight it out. And then they can figure it out. And then their stock can go back up, I'm guessing. So what a crazy time in the entertainment industry. That's for sure. And how about that Vision Wave? Because that had taken a dip, curling up right there, not looking too bad. So we'll be watching VWAV. And then I added Galt to the list. And of course, that D-Lo looking pretty good right there. Michael Anthony and ABEO. ABEO right there pulling back some. So we'll have to take a look at that one. And let me go right through and see what our Jolie's Jams laptop travel list looks like. And the Spy Mag 7, everything else. And then we'll look and see what you guys want to see. So let me take a look and run through all this good stuff real fast. And that Rhythms of Cannabis one, guys. Remember, this used to be Agrify, and that is a great one right there. So there you go for RYM. Remember that one in the cannabis sector. So keep your eye on that. And Blink Charging was up a little bit, and that actually is looking pretty good to get set up as well. So I think you might want to keep an eye on Blink, BLNK. It's in the basement trying to get curled up right there. Sezzle was running up today pretty big, and that one is looking pretty nice, I must say. So keep your eye on Sezzle right there. That one could continue its way up tomorrow, and we were all over that one this morning. I told Ben as the market was open, he was selling. I was like, yo, you better hold on to that thing. It's about to run. It started moving right there. So Sezzle looking really good right there. And Sterling right here. That one's just kind of hanging out. But you know this one can start ripping either direction, to be honest with you. But if the market wants to move up and these guys want to run, I would say that Sterling would start to run. Rivian right there. Hadn't looked bad before, but having that little bit of pullback, we'll see if tomorrow it can bounce back up off of that. And then your Symbiotic was up right there. And that thing looks like it's setting up. So you do have your Sezzle, Symbiotic, and Blink setting up, and your Rhythm looking pretty good, RYM, with the cannabis sector. So there you go. It's your Jolie's Jams. And let's take a look and see what our laptop travel list is looking like. Here we go. Let's roll right through them and see what's happening here. AAME. Whoop, hold on. There we go at AAME, and that does look real good. So I'm just going to cruise right through like we have been. So get your paper and pen out. You should have it out already for the rest of the list. But here's your laptop travel list if you're just tuning in and seeing where we're at. So AIXC. Oh, I can't even type. AIXC. I told you I'm tired here. Not that I can ever type. AIXC up 12%, and that looks pretty good. Laptop travel for a little momentum right there. So definitely one to keep an eye on for tomorrow morning. You should definitely be watching that one with your 4 a.m. crew. AMS just kind of bouncing around right there. And BANL, CBL, International Oil and Gas one. And that's actually trying to jump up, but not too much right at the moment. But it is moving in the right direction, it looks like, anyway, for BANL. And let's see what CIGL is up to right there. Concord International. And that was up pretty big. And that does look like it wants to roll off and does look pretty good for CIGL. Might want to put a little mark next to that one. EDUC, I think that says. And that has been bouncing around a lot. I know we've looked at that one recently, and it does have a lot of bouncing around and is setting up. It's just in that channel, but it's not running. It's just bouncing a lot. So HHS, Hart, and Hanks, we were looking at it yesterday, just a little bit flat right there. See what it wants to do. And hit. This is a good old hit right here. Health in tech, and that hit looks pretty good, and that should try to run up there. So keep an eye on HIT and JCSC. I think it is JCSC right there. Yeah, that's definitely it. And that thing was crawling up there, not looking too bad. It is hitting the 50, so we'd have to look at it tomorrow, but it did spike up and wasn't looking terrible right there. LSTA, Lisa, what? Lasata? I don't know, guys. I can't read. Why am I even trying? And just for entertainment for you guys. And but anyway, here's LSTA, and that one is in the channel and not looking bad. A lot of greenness right there, so it's looking pretty good. And let me see what else is that. RDHL, that is Red Hill Biopharm and an Israeli one. And let me see what this is up to. It's been in that channel. I know we looked at it back here one day, and it is trying to curl up. I could see that thing trying to move now that it's been in that channel for a little bit for RDHL right there. And UFG. Let's see what Uni Fuels Holdings is doing. Up a little bit today. And let's see. It's in that channel. Let me take a better look at UFG right there. That actually looks pretty good right there on that chart. So I look at that in the morning. UFG, we'll take a look at some of these and see what they're up to. UOKA, I know we look at this UK company right there. Lodging, this thing likes to run around like crazy. Remember this thing? And this actually does look good to roll off that MACD and get rolling. And we know that can get rolling. So that's an interesting one to keep an eye on right there. And WVVI is Wilmette Valley Vineyards. And that's in that channel, just kind of hanging out. So we can see if it gets set up to roll off of there. It doesn't look bad to try to. And WKSP Worksport right here. And that thing is in that channel. It was up a little bit today, spiking up, pulling back. And again, we'll have to look at that one there tomorrow. Here's some good cannabis ones. So we'll look at that sector because lots of great news about that. And Trump trying to come out and do the rescheduling from or reclassify it from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3, and that way they can do more medical research and all kinds of good stuff, but it'll also get rid of Section 280E and all that tax nonsense and all that garbage and everything else that's been holding back the industry. And you guys know I've discussed it a million times. I'm not going to get too deep into it tonight and why it hasn't been able to work, but this would be a big deal if it does get reclassified here, rescheduled. So Japan's exports expand for third straight month. U.S. shipments rebound. Asian stocks slip after U.S. jobs data. Oil rises. And the stock future slip as traders absorb shaky U.S. economic data. And jobs report shows more evidence of cracks forming. And Tesla stock finally clinches a milestone almost a year in the making. Yeah, it was like a 500 today. We'll go through all that. So there you go with them. And let's see. Here you go. This is MSOS. Let's just do that one first because that is an ETF right there for the cannabis. And that is looking really good going into tomorrow. This is MSOX, and that's looking really good going into tomorrow. So you definitely want to have your eye on all these bad boys right here. CNBS right here. Amplify Seymour Cannabis. That's another one looking good into the top. So keep your eye on that. HITI is good old high tide, and that's just getting ready to set up and get moving. So definitely keep an eye on that. MJ is another ETF. and they all look the same, all these ETFs, so you can kind of pick one. YOLO's another one right there, and another similar look. So all these ETFs, and Toke's another one right there. And again, that one has that very similar look. And here's Weed, WED. That one was running up pretty big. I know that. It's almost 20%. Has a similar look, like it wants to run up some more. And Tilray right here. You know what I said? This one's one of the best ones, and that was up 27%, trying to get cruising right there. And there is your Tilray. And let's take a look and see what Canopy Growth. There's another good one, and that was running up there, staying in the top, looking pretty good as of now. And let me see what Cureleaf is doing. I have to look at Cureleaf last because we have to look at it on the OTCs. SNDL, that one was trying to run back up. That rhythm is Agrify right there. Here's your Cureleaf, and I just wanted to put a couple on there just so we could take a look, but they're all looking pretty good. The ETFs and Cureleaf's looking pretty decent. That's the biggest MSO in the country is Cureleaf, and that's a multi-state operator MSO. That's what that stands for. So there you go with the cannabis industry, and they are looking great with the Trump supposedly going to be rescheduling it. And so there you are. So anyway, that was your laptop travel list. That was your cannabis. That was your Joe Lee's jams. That was your other part of your list. Let's go through our Spy Mag 7, all them guys, and see what's going on. And then we will also go through and see what Michael Anthony wants to see in laptop travel and everybody else, like Doge Mama 9 and everyone hanging out. So appreciate you guys hanging out with us tonight, and we'll wrap up kind of early again. And again, I'm exhausted, but not only that, it's coming into the holiday season, and I know everybody has a ton of stuff to do. So we cover the market real quick. We'll be on at 7 a.m. as we always are, Monday through Friday, tomorrow morning, to see what the market wants to look like, and then we'll go from there. But let's go through our Mag 7 big caps, all these guys, and then see what you guys want to see this evening before we wrap it up and I pass out live on TV because I am that tired. Holy cow. Go sledding with 2 5-year-olds for 2 hours, guys. Oh, my goodness. And the hill's pretty good. It's a pretty steep hill. And yeah, I had to keep carrying the sleds up, obviously. And my buddy said he was over there doing the hockey rinks with the snowblower, cracking up because Henry kept. He didn't know Henry was calling me, but he just saw Henry handing me the sled every time, and I was carrying up the sleds for them. And yeah, Henry'd be like, "Hey, Mr. Doug, can you please carry my sled?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, buddy, no problem." And I'd carry the sleds up for them. And yeah, I was surprised they lasted that long. I'm not gonna lie. Dougie, he was so tired. He couldn't even walk when we got in the house. He was just like, I just want to eat and I want to go to bed. It was so funny. He was exhausted. So yeah, good time sledding. And I think we might have to do it again tomorrow, possibly. So hopefully not for 2 hours this time. But yeah, that was pretty crazy. I'm not gonna lie. And again, we wouldn't have stayed that long. I was just trying to hang out and watch Henry. But honestly, we probably might have stayed that long just because the kids were having that much fun, and you're not going to leave when the kids are running around up and down a hill, getting good exercise, sledding, having fun like that. You're just going to let them have at it and have a good time. So yeah, and they were just so happy because it got dark early. So we started and it was still light, and then they got to see like the sunset. And it was really nice. Like the whole sky was kind of pink. It was pretty cool. But then they were so excited because it was like night sledding. So they did not really want to leave until basically they couldn't walk up the hill anymore, and they were both like, all right, we've had enough. And they were just about done the hockey rinks. They had like 5 more minutes left. I was like, perfect timing because I can't take anymore. I'm about to pass out. So went down, talked to my buddy, and Henry stayed down there, and he was wrapping it up. So it worked out perfectly. We had a great time, but that was today. And yeah, I'm telling you, I'm wiped out from that one. I was perfectly fine before I went. I was full of energy, and then holy cow, 2 hours of sledding with 2 5-year-olds. That was good enough for me. That was definitely a workout. And here we are. So Spy Mag 7, here's another workout for us. So let's see what's going on. Our Spy's down and our Qs are up. That's a weird one, right, guys? Because anytime that happens, you got to question things and say, what the heck is going on here? Because your Spy started up, came down, and then went up, pulled back a little bit, but obviously not as high as it should have. And there you go. It's touching your 50, but then your Qs are obviously up and they're through your 50 and 20 and everything. So I would say definitely an interesting look right there for them. And Yeah, Doge Mama 9, he said, "Yeah, I'm tired because I work so hard and I play so much harder." I tend to do that. Yeah, I try to anyway, but yeah, that's letting I'm telling you, the snow sports, they definitely wipe you out. And again, I just don't have that stamina like I used to in my head. It just like tells me I just can't go like I used to. And obviously, I think I'm still trying to recover from that whole New York thing and then going out and shoveling and was out in the snow for like hours the other day as well. So yeah, the snow will definitely wear you out. That's for sure. I mean, it takes a toll on your body. You don't realize it because you're just having fun. But then after a couple hours of being out there, you're like, holy cow, I'm exhausted and I'm starving. And then once you eat, you're like, I'm ready to pass out. This is it. So anyway, play with your kids hard. It's the best medicine to get them to sleep easily. Oh, you're not kidding, laptop travel. We love when Dougie's out, like wants to go run around with his friends and stuff. Obviously, in the wintertime, it's a little more difficult around here. So when you get that opportunity to be able to go sledding, because they don't get to do that every single day and they love it. And yeah, I'm like, yeah, that's why I said I would have been out there for 2 hours regardless. I bet if we go tomorrow, I don't think they're going to make 2 hours after today, but even an hour of sledding's a really good workout. And I'm telling you, our hill is a pretty good hill. It's obviously not a ski hill, but it's a pretty decent hill and has like the older kids always make like a jump and then there's always like this like valley that you like go in, so the kids were having a great time on it. And yeah, we were just having a really fun time but exhausting, and we were kind of tackling each other on the hill and all that good stuff, all that fun stuff you do while you're sledding. And you have two 5-year olds and then they were holding on to each other's sleds and I was pushing them down there and they were like rolling around. Yeah, it was a great time. But anyway, that was my fun. Let's get through the rest of our fun here, Michael Anthony. Michael Anthony's like, holy cow, I'm older, and you're talking about 5-year olds. Can you imagine Michael Anthony taking two 5-year olds sledding at for 2 hours and going up and down the hill with them? And I didn't even go up and down every single time because I just let them go at it for a bunch of times, and then I'd come down and kind of grab the sleds and then towards the end I kind of had to go down every time because I had to carry the sleds up because they really couldn't even do it. The one sled was a little bigger that Henry had, so we had the round disc ones because it's easy for Dougie to carry, but he loves it because you can spin him around like and he just goes around and around and he enjoys it. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. We do like it. That's how me and my wife met. I'm not even kidding. I don't know if I ever told you a story, but we literally met sledding at that hill. I'm not even kidding. No joke. I know I've known her brother my whole entire life and didn't even know he had a younger sister, to be completely. I knew he had an older sister because she was friends with my sister, so they were the same age. And yeah, me and my wife met at that hill. No joke. We went sledding. My buddy hit me up. My brother-in-law, now obviously, hit me up when it snowed one time a long time ago. And how are you, Orlando? And yeah, he hit me up and was like, "Yo, you want to go sledding?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, my sister's gonna go." And I'm like, "All right, cool." And I just figured it was his older sister because I didn't even know he had a younger sister. She's a couple years younger than me, so I didn't even know. And then obviously we kind of hit it off at the while we went sledding. How crazy is that? So yeah, that's where we met, at that hill. So how wild is that, guys? So and then we go back there. So anyway, it's pretty funny. So Dougie kind of knows that we met there too, so he likes to always say, "Can we go to the hill you met mommy at?" And so yeah, it's kind of funny. But yeah, that's where I met my wife while we were sledding. How crazy, right? So interesting story right there, I know. But I guess you got to meet somewhere, and that's that. So, and yeah, Apple right here. Let's go through this market and see what's going on. AAPL, and let's see Apple. I think Apple's dipping down more, guys. To be completely honest with you, Apple does not look ripe right now, and it doesn't look like it's at least ready to get popping. Let's put it that way. Qs can fall some more. I agree with you, Michael Anthony. I'm not even saying that they're ready to pop either. Like I said, they look like they're ready to dip down. Honestly, it doesn't. It's just kind of parachuting today. I don't think they're really ready to pop up, to be completely honest with you. But we're going to go through and see what everything looks like and see if we like anything. Amazon kind of pulling back. That was looking pretty decent the other day. And then it does have that pullback look. Meta looks good. I know that. But let's look at Google. And let's see. Yeah, that's That's Google right there. Can't even see. Google right here. Yeah, I think that pulls back Michael Anthony and comes back down to like that 301 perhaps. So I don't think that it's a thanks, Doge Mama 9 says it's a sweet story. But yeah, Google right here, I don't think is ready to just bounce right up tomorrow either. So I don't think that the market's like really ready to get crazy. Now, Meta looked pretty good. Remember, we said it. We were talking about Meta looking decent, and that did crawl up pretty well today and doesn't look too bad right there. So I would say if Meta, and then of course your NVIDIA, but let's go through Microsoft real quick because that was up today and it does not look terrible. Look at this thing. It's trying to keep itself up there and get rolled off the MACD and try to get rolling. So maybe Microsoft has something in the gas tank right there too tomorrow. And then you have your NVIDIA. And like I said, NVIDIA is looking good, guys. It's been looking good. Even had that dip right there. Still looks good. This thing could get popping. They could have some kind of crazy news or something happening. They always have something crazy going on. I'm not sure what it is, but there you go. And we'll be watching the video. I do like that one right there. And then your Tesla was rocking and rolling, and there you go. It had run up into its high today was what, 491 right there. So looking really good today. And there you are with good old Tesla. You can see it was running there and looking beautiful. And it looks like it's going to continue. That's a good look for tomorrow, guys. So I would say Tesla might be one to definitely keep an eye on tomorrow. So that's the one in your Mag 7. That's probably going to be your best one right there. And let's take a look at AMC and GameStop, see what they're up to. AMC, a little bit of pullback still on that line. And GameStop was trying to bounce up a little bit and looks pretty good. So GameStop could be trying to set back up. You know, it did pull back after the earnings, but now it looks pretty good right there. And let's see what the rest of these guys look like Chewy and Unity. Chewy trying to roll back up. It's trying to roll off that MACD. And Unity has been pulling back right there and is rolling, pulling back a little bit. We did look at Netflix. I'm telling you, I think Netflix is a good one right there. Keep your eye on that. AVGO right here, back up. And we'll see. I don't think it looks perfect, to be honest with you. MU, big dip right there. Looks like it should be dipping down some more tomorrow, is at least what it looks like. Sometimes when they look like they want to continue down, they do reverse, but I don't think that they're ready yet anyway. And TSM hitting that trend line right there. But it is coming through. Actually, it's way under it right there. It's coming through that MACD for TSM and should roll right back down a little bit more. So watch for some pullback. Looks like it's trying to curl up, but I don't know, guys. Like I said, we'll have to see these guys in the morning. Sometimes, like I said, a lot of times when this market looks like they want to dip down, then all of a sudden we see these things pop back up all like out of nowhere. Maybe Trump tries to tweet something to help along that. SMCI, that looks like it's trying to roll off that MACD anyway. So we'll see if SMCI actually does try to roll off. And let's see what else is going on with our list right here. AMD, QCOM. AMD was trying to get set up, and I think it still does have a little bit. It's just getting in this area right here. It has to really get curled up right there, or it could fall back down until it gets over this trend line right there, that purple one. So that's what you're looking at. It is trying to get set up at the moment, and we'll track it down the next day or two and see what happens with that. Why can't I get QCOM in? There you go. And it is down today, pulling back right there. And I'm gonna yawn. Holy cow! I told you I'm tired. I usually don't yawn. Snow right here. Snowflake has been coming down. Now that looks like it could be bottom. We might want to keep an eye on snow tomorrow right there. Good old Snowflake. That could be good right there. Maybe going in for a blizzard. And we'll see what happens with that. PayPal not looking bad today as well. And I think this one's a good one for that January effect and not looking too bad there. MU earnings are tomorrow. I wasn't even paying attention. Yeah, you're right. That did say that. Didn't even notice it, Luis Rodriguez. You can tell I'm completely out of it right now. And didn't even notice it said that, but thank you very much. And it does look like it's pulling back at the moment anyway. So we'll have to look at that tomorrow. And let's look at Intel right here. Snow shouldn't bounce right there. Let's see. It is. Oh, it looks pretty good. Well, you know what, Michael Anthony? Well, let me restate it because I think you're going to get a run up because it's curling up, but you're probably not getting through that trend line at 230 right there. So you could get a $10 bounce up, but that's about it right there. Let me restate it for you like that. So that's what I was kind of looking at, and more so tomorrow or the next day for snow. But anyway, that's what we were looking at for that one. And how about Intel right here? A little bit of pullback, and that has that trend line and still doesn't look that great even on that. And Dell is up today, and that's in that channel. That one does look like it's trying to set back up and roll off the MACD right there. So might be one to keep an eye on for Dell. Why all these guys are pulling back at the moment. IBM's pulling back. I know that. I saw that one pulling down, and it looks like it is going to pull down. But Palantir, look at this thing. Now that looks pretty strong again, guys. So I would say Palantir looking pretty good. But Sophie, I don't know. I mean, it is trying to bounce up today, but it doesn't look perfect right there. So I'd have to look at that tomorrow. Here's your Mara and Riot, and these guys are just kind of sitting here, still waiting for crypto to do something. Riot's pulling back. Mara was kind of hanging out. Clean Spark had tried to run back up the other day, and it's coming down now. So there you go. Yeah, Friday, yesterday it was pulling back. Today it's pulling back a little bit more. So there you go. A Clean Spark. They couldn't hang out forever and wait for crypto, so they're pretty mad. And MicroStrategy, this one's been down. Look at this thing. The trend line I think has changed like 10 times, but it's what it seems like to me. Maybe it hasn't. I don't even know, unless it like disappears and reappears. But it does look like it wants to roll off, but again, is crypto really ready? And then obviously, MicroStrategy runs off of Bitcoin, so it's the only way it runs is if Bitcoin runs. And then you have your Robinhood up a little bit, trying to bounce, but not looking perfect. Coinbase, same situation, but not looking perfect right there. And Bull right here was down a little bit more, unfortunately, pulling back, and we'll see what it wants to do as it hits that MACD and all that good area. And how about your space right here? And that had been pulling back pretty big. And I don't even know if that's bottoming out. It looks like it might try to, but I'm not sure. Boeing was looking good this morning and still looking pretty good right there. And how about DJT was up today? I saw it. And it does look like all of a sudden it's trying to set up. But again, I'm not 100% sure, but it does look like it could roll off that MACD. Then you have your Nike down today and pulling back a little bit. McDonald's, that was pulling back after it's been running up. Let that pull back for a day or two, and then it'll run right back up. And Disney right here is kind of hanging out, not looking bad, that's for sure. Luis Rodriguez and Oxy, that is pulling back pretty good. And ExxonMobil also pulling back pretty good. And DXYZ, another one pulling back pretty good right there. And Bitcoin is at 87.3. So I'm not sure what you consider down from, because it's kind of just bouncing around today. But yeah, it's definitely dipped down and then clearly trying to bounce back up today. We'll see, Michael Anthony. Like I said, still in a critical area right there. Did hold itself up, but I'll be keeping an eye on it, that's for sure. And let's go ahead and see what you guys want to look at. And then we're going to wrap it up a little early, because you guys know I'm going to pass out here, because I'm going to, like, my good old sledding adventure I was telling you about. But anyway, here we go. That's your Christmas market right there. You got a little green, you got your red, green mixed in a little bit over here. So we're getting festive over there in the market. It looks great. How about VMAR right there? I think somebody was asking about it anyway. Vision Marine, and that thing was popping up. Let's take a better look at VMAR, and look at that thing cruising up there. Oh man, I think somebody asked, was it Doge Mama 9? Perhaps. I'm not exactly sure. I have to go through and see. I think early in the morning it could run back up a little bit, but you'd have to be pretty careful and make sure you're catching dips. Let me just see right here. Running up, little pullback, then ran up, a little pullback in the after hours, but that's nothing right there. So yeah, I think in the morning you could get pulled up right there, get running. So there you go with that VMAR. And how about this thing, that AMCI? Holy cow, it ran up some more today. How crazy is that thing? And I don't even know what they do, to be honest. It's a SPAC merger or something. And look at that thing. Holy mackerel, that's crazy right there. So there you go at AMCI. And Riley, we were all over this bad boy. Literally, I think we called it perfectly in the Discord. If you were in there this morning, you were all over this thing. You knew exactly what it did. I literally said I was going to pull back in the morning and it was getting set up. I mean, I straight up told Ben exactly we were talking, and I mean, it was perfectly called. And then it ran up there and ran up for most of the day, as you can see. So it was up over 50%. So that was a beauty right there that we gave out in the Discord. And there you are. So there you go with Riley. And let's see, CPAC right there was up. And that's another, I think, that's a building material. I thought that was another SPAC one or shell company or whatever the heck it's called. But no, this is actual real company, CPAC it's called. But anyway, let's go ahead and see what you guys are looking at. We were talking about that beat also. And let me start at the top and see. Oh, Luis Rodriguez got a big old list for us. Hold on, let's roll through this real quick. I may pass out Luis Rodriguez, but we'll make it through. Hold on. ZTS, that's Zodis or something. This one was what I tell you guys yesterday. I was telling you guys literally last night on that show. I said, you might want to watch this one tomorrow. It looks like it wants to pop. Did I not say that? And there you go. That one looked pretty good last night when we were doing our and that was in the Discord show when we were doing the old January effect ones. We were talking about that, and it was looking good. FRMI looking great right there. We did look at Circle. That's getting set up. Geospace right here. Curling up, looking really good right there. How about your Figma? That one we looked at looking great. TTD, this trade desk is looking much better right there. I must give you that. Luis Rodriguez looking good. UMAC we looked at, and that one was looking pretty good. I can't even type it in, so don't mind me, but it was looking pretty good there today. And AFRM, oh man, what am I doing? AFRM, Affirm Holdings, and this was popping up there today. I missed that one completely there, but that was looking good. And this ION, Jesus Christmas, I can't type anything. What am I doing? What is it? My goodness. IONQ, let me put it that way. That was up. We were talking about it already when we were doing the quantum and computer hardware ones, and BFH right here. Breadfire. This thing's still going up. Jesus Christmas. This thing's been going up for like days, almost weeks, I think. Holy cow. We said that would make you some bread, and it's definitely been going up for nonstop. QURE, this one could really get cruising right there. We might want to keep an eye on this one right now. QURE, that looks good, Luis Rodriguez. And how about Rap? Oh, look at Rap right there. That could be rapping later. And tomorrow, that could have a good rap on it. So keep an eye on that. And Iron right there. It was up. We did distinguish that it was up today. It was down in the beginning, but did run back up. And CENX right here, Century Aluminum. Yeah, aluminum looking really good right there. That's for sure. And Wild. Let's see how crazy this one wants to get. And it is Vista Shares Animal Spirits 2 times. Not sure what it is. I have no idea what they are, but it does look like it could roll right off that MACD for whatever it does. QCLS, this was running up today, and I did see this, and that does look pretty good. So might want to keep an eye on this QCLS right there. That's not looking bad right now. And let's see what else do you have here. And this is at Carport, CPRT or something like that. Copart, something like that. I remember looking at this one before, but yeah, that looks pretty good right there. Luis Rodriguez open door looking pretty decent. We looked at that one. And CIGL. Let's see what CIGL, Concord International. And that was popping up there today and could continue its way up. Laptop Travel, check that out. And how about this Shoe Shine? Is that what that is? SISI or something like that? Isn't what happened to that? SISI. Wasn't that a something? Hold on, I gotta look and see. It was like Shine Company or something. Shineco. Oh, it's an OTC. That's why I said Shoe Shine. Shineco. That's what it was. That actually is popping up there pretty big there. Luis Rodriguez. It is an OTC though, but there you go. Breaking news earlier. Waymo is in discussions to raise more than $15 billion in a new funding round, valuing it as a high valuing it as high as $110 billion. That would be crazy. This would more than double Waymo's last round, which closed in October 2024. at 45 billion valuation. That's crazy. Futures, are they still red? FEIM. Let's take a look and see what that's doing. FEIM right here, frequency electronics, and that has been looking good. It does look like it wants to continue into the top right there. And you did purchase some more of that Lucid there today. You were talking about it, and it is pulling back there. You were liking it down there, so we'll be keeping an eye on Lucid, that's for sure. And let me see. Item present and accounted for, the laptop travel said. And Joseph Levy's on there. And let me see. Let me see what else is going on over here. The Coke scarf. And I think I need that right now, huh? Let me see what else is going on. Knew you had it on because Lewis, see, I'm just kind of cruising through the messages to see what's happening. We were talking about a bunch of stuff. Also, Galt and Toyota Motor right there. We have our Galt and Toyota Motor experts. I went to dinner with them both on Saturday, as a matter of fact. And let's see what else is going on over here. And it works. Just posted your trading plan, Tesla, on the Discord on the Dougie page. So Luis Rodriguez, I'll definitely check that out. And let's see what else. Michael Anthony, he was talking about beat D-Lo is looking pretty good, as a matter of fact, in that PAGS we checked out. And let me see, I think we left off right here at new holdings right there, Michael Anthony, and that looks like it is pulling back, as a matter of fact. So let that one pull back. And let me see, OGN, and that is Organon. And let me see, Organic Company, and that is a little bit of pullback as well, OGN. And that could try to bottom out right there. We'll look at that, Michael Anthony, that's for sure. And let me see what else is going on. Doge Mama 9 wants to see a couple over here, like IBIO right now. And let's see what that's up to. Good old IBIO, and it is trying to curl back up after it just recently ran up. I do think that's looking pretty solid right there to run back up, Doge Mama 9. And AZI right here, recent splitter. Oh, there you go. Split it the 12th. So that was what, Friday? So you got that split right there trying to curl up. I think that looks really good. What is this? AZI. Let's keep an eye on this thing. AZI. And that was a reverse split. So definitely keeping an eye on that one, Doge Mom and I. PAVS. I know this one was down today, as a matter of fact, down to 2 cents from 3. Took a big old dip, but it is curling up, and maybe that 2 cents is a really good look right there. So unfortunately, it did take a big old dip, but maybe it's getting really ready to run. If not, they're going to have a reverse split or an offering or something. Something's going to happen. And this JZXN right here, recently reverse split, and that's trying to get set back up, and it's in the basement. So there you go, Doge Mama 9. Hope that helped. And we were talking about Cracker Barrel right there, OGN, HOUS, and FIG. And let me see what else. Silver was up in the after hours, so we'll keep an eye on that. SIL, and it was, and this is silver right there. That was up a little bit right there. And CRML can fall to 644. Critical metals, Michael Anthony, and sure could. A lot of them could dip down pretty good, I'm not going to lie. And let me see. And you guys are talking about all kinds of good stuff in there. And quick radiation hardened AI chips for space AI data centers. And we're early, you said, on that one. And let's see what else is going on. You bought a quick, also just a few shares, Joseph Levy. And that was Friday. I don't even remember that, Joseph Levy. How crazy is that? I was like, quick, I don't remember this. And it was in my account. So I definitely bought it. Lionsgate looks good. That's the studio. That was the one I was thinking of the other day that contacted me about my Cooking with Skinny and Minnie show, actually, back in the day. It was Lionsgate. I couldn't think of it the other day. But there you go. There it is. Good old Lionsgate. So anyway, there's Lionsgate. Not looking bad right there. That's jumped up there in the after hours. Looking pretty good for some momentum. Michael Anthony. So I would keep an eye on that for some momentum tomorrow. And that VMAR right there, we did check out real quick. Doge Mama 9, I do think that could run up. It looks like it pulled back some in the after hours, but not too bad. As you can see, it's down to 84, but still looking pretty good with your 20 trying to meet up right there. Not looking too bad. So, or not your 20. What am I talking about? Your your MACD line trying to meet up right there. I am too tired, huh? Anyway, that's where it is. And AAME, let's see, that has no volume. That does not matter all the time, Michael Anthony. This thing ran up 8% with 22,000 in volume. I'm telling you, volume is not always everything. I promise you. And so when you get there early to the party, the volume comes in after, just letting you know. And American Airlines, the airlines were looking pretty good, actually. And Delta right here was down a little, but American Airlines was looking good. What else? LUV, isn't that Southwest? Yeah, that was up a little bit today as well. But American Airlines not looking too bad. You're right. That does look like it could run up a little bit more. AAL with some momentum right there. So we'll keep an eye on that one. And good old High Tide right there. HITI, good old cannabis one. And there you go, High Tide. And that one, keep an eye on in the cannabis sector. And CPAC, let's see if I could find my fingers on the keyboard. Wow, CPAC was running big right there, laptop travel. So might want to keep an eye on that one in the morning. And how are you, Orlando? Butrago, maybe? I'll try to pronounce your last name. I'm terrible at reading names. But anyway, how are you tonight, Orlando? Thanks for hanging out. And Michael Anthony, the Qs, we were talking about them. And let's see, we're due for another major AI partnership announcement. I'm sure he's talking about in the video right here. It is looking really good. I'm not gonna lie. So keep your eyes on the video. It could get popping any moment. And MU earnings were tomorrow's snow. And we were talking about that one. And what about Fizz right here? Wasn't that like a soft drink company or something like that? I forget what the heck they did. National Beverage Corp. That's what it was. And let's see. I mean, Fizz, it makes sense, but that one looks like it's pulling back at the moment there, Michael Anthony. Let's take a better look at FIZZ. And that does look like it's pulling back there. You said Fizz at 32. Yeah, I agree. It's definitely pulling back. Bitcoin's down. That's what you were saying anyway. And we did look at it, and it wasn't too bad. It's at 87.2 at the moment. So wasn't it at 86.5? I really don't remember what it was at, to be honest with you, a little bit ago. How are you, Deleted? How you doing this evening? And let's take a look at ASBP right here. Aspire Biopharma. And let's take a good look at it. It's in that channel, that's for sure. Let me take a better look. And ASBP, I mean, it's trying to get into that channel. It's not looking too bad. Let me look at it tomorrow. I'm going to write it down on the side of this list right here. It doesn't look bad right there, but ASBP, I'll look at tomorrow for you, Deleted, and we'll see what that wants to do for the this weekend and tomorrow, obviously. So I can't move the piece of paper back. There it is. Anyway, there you go. Deleted. We'll take a look at that. And ASBP is transfer and listing exchange from NASDAQ to NASDAQ Capital Markets, effective today, I guess. So, or yesterday it was. So that's interesting. Is this today's date then? Yeah, that's today's date. Yeah, I'll look at it tomorrow. Not exactly sure what's up with that. And you said, is this good, bad, or neutral? No, I have no idea. Does anyone know, guys? Laptop travel. What's this? ASBP or Luis Rodriguez or Michael Anthony or everybody or anybody or anyone that wants to chime in, please let us know. ASBP is transferring listings. I sounded like I was doing an auction right there. ASBP is transferring listing exchange from NASDAQ to NASDAQ Capital Markets, effective December 15th. So that already happened. Is that good, bad, neutral news, or what? I am not sure. So you guys let us know why we're going through the rest of this. And let's see what's going on. Black candle never looks good, Michael Anthony said. So there you go. And WOR report earnings. And if it falls hard, then buy the dip and look at the earnings. And what is WOR? Is that like worship? Worthington Enterprises. And it looks like it's dipping down there, Michael Anthony. It's at 51. I'd say it dipped down there on earnings, that's for sure. And I guess you're buying a dip right there. Yes, volume means a lot. It does mean a lot, but it's not everything. So Just remember, it does mean a lot, but it's not everything. I've pointed out many times where things have run over 10% in a day and they've had like literally like under 20,000 in volume. It happens. I mean, the right setup, it's going to move. It doesn't always happen, but these things can happen. And we've seen a million times, that's for sure. And Jets is that ETF for the airlines, and that was up. That's been running up. I remember you guys pointed that out a little bit ago. We should have jumped in that. It's been running up pretty nice. UNG right here is the natural gas fund, and that's way down right there. And good deleted. Glad you're doing well there. So glad you're hanging out and enjoying the show. And what was it again? I'm not sure what you're talking about. What was what again, Michael Anthony? But anyway, there you go. That is what we were looking at and what you guys wanted to see. Let's see what else is happening here in the market. We'll go through. I know we looked at these news stories. Stocks move tight in a tight range. Oil gains on Venezuela and shares hesitant after U.S. jobs data and all jumps. Oil jumps on Venezuela blockade. So is oil going to jump up now or is it going to crash? I don't even know, to be honest with you. I would assume that it was going to run, and that's why them things were dipping down and they were going to get cruising. So I'm not exactly sure. That PAVS was trying to get set up. It was down a little bit today. A little more VMAR right there. IVP still trying to get set up. And again, the video looking good. And then your cannabis ones we went through. Tesla looking really good. ASST trying to look pretty decent. Comcast looking good. We were talking about it last night, as a matter of fact. Look at that thing, ran up 5% today. Jesus. And so there you go. And that iRobot, they decided to go bankrupt and they filed for bankruptcy. And AMCI running up some more. So there you go, everybody. I would say that is a pretty fun market review. And like I said, I am absolutely exhausted tonight from doing some sledding. So I hope you guys enjoyed that show. And thanks for tuning in. Deleted and Michael Anthony, of course. And of course, Doge Mama 9, Laptop Travel, Luis Rodriguez, Joseph Levy, and everybody else like Robin and the rest of the crew that hangs out and chimes in, and everybody else that's watches on the replays. I greatly appreciate it. Are the futures still red, Luis Rodriguez? That's a good question right there. And yeah, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Be sure to follow along on Instagram and YouTube. Like the show on your way out of here, and obviously all information presented here is for educational and informational purposes only, not intended as financial advice. So always do your due diligence, and we do this show every Sunday through Thursday at 8 p.m. And then we do our pre-market show at 7 a.m. Monday through Friday. So, we'll be on tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. to cover the market, see what's going on, and see what's happening. Let me just see something right here. And let me see. We did X-Go Stocks. How are you? He was talking about the which one you grow. What I meant to add it to the list. Good old you grow. We were looking at it the other day. UGRO. And this is another cannabis one, Urban Grow Inc. And there you go. You can check out that one as well. So there's a ton of good cannabis ones right now, obviously, because there's news and they're just running up on all of them are kind of running up. So that is what to look for. Find the hot sector and stick with it real quick. So there you go, everybody. And we'll be on in the morning. It says stocks and mixed as weak jobs data and rising unemployment dampen rate cut hopes, with tech resilience offset by sector laggards and caution. I don't even know what that says. I can't read. They're still slightly red. Thank you, Luis Rodriguez. And there you go. And I'm going to go get some rest. I'll do the night note, put it in the Discord for you guys. And I'm going to pass out so that I can be ready for tomorrow morning. We can look at the market because honestly, I can't look at anything right now. I am that tired. I can't believe I'm this exhausted right now. So you guys enjoy your night, Joseph Levy and everybody else. And you're not looking for this gas price increase. I know, right? I'm sure they'll hike that up as well. You know that with the Venezuela oil thing going on and all that good stuff. So, they'll be hiking up prices for everything. They always do. They always find a reason to do it, that's for sure. So you have a good night, Deleted, and everybody else. I'll catch you guys in the morning. You guys get some rest. Enjoy the rest of your night. And again, Christmas right around the corner, so make sure that you're getting all that good stuff. And go hide the elf and everything else. So I'll see you guys at 7 a.m. Enjoy your evening, and I will catch you guys in the morning. Have a good night, everybody.